Stool is one of the biggest health warnings your body gives you, but you may have never paid much attention to it. It's something that almost all of us prefer not to look at, but ignoring what comes out of your body is a big mistake, and in some cases, it can put your life at risk. That unpleasant moment of looking at the toilet before flushing is actually a key to diagnosing diseases, some of them very serious, long before they show up in a test, a medical exam, or before any other symptoms appear. As someone who has worked with many patients, I assure you this is not an exaggeration or a scary warning speech. Your health is reflected in your stool. It gives us information about the bile ducts, liver, pancreas, or even a hidden internal bleeding, and often it's the first warning that something inside you isn't working properly. And it doesn't stop there. The shape and type of stool also tell a story, revealing everything from infections to more modern diseases, even cancer. Today, I want to show you which is the worst type of stool that you should never ignore. The problem is that most people just flush and go on with their day without realizing that their body was loudly asking for help. Now I want you to really pay attention. From today, every time you go to the bathroom, pause for a few seconds and take a look. In this video, I'll tell you exactly what you should be looking for and which signs you should never ignore, because ignoring them could cost you dearly. Also, at the end of the video, I'll share 5 very simple medical secrets for optimizing gut health that very few people know. To make it easy to understand, in medicine there's a scale called the Bristol Stool Scale, which is used to describe the shape of stool, from very hard and pellet-like to completely liquid. It's graded from 1 to 7, and it's a clear way to figure out what's going on inside your body. It's even worth printing it out and sticking it in your bathroom so it's always in front of you. If your stool is like type 1, very hard, or in separate little pellets like goat droppings and hard to pass, that means constipation. It means your colon is holding onto the stool too long and it dries out in the large intestine. This can cause pain during bowel movements, hemorrhoids, fissures, digestive discomfort, and even increase inflammation throughout your body. The further you get from this state, the softer and more elongated the stool becomes until you reach the other end of the spectrum, type 7, which is completely liquid diarrhea. This shows that the intestines are working too fast and can't form the stool properly. But you don't need to memorize all the types. I want you to remember it this way. The ideal state is for your stool to be shaped, soft, and doughy, not hard and not liquid, and brown in color. When it looks like this, it usually means your gut is working properly. Why brown? Because when food moves from the stomach to the intestines, it mixes with bile, which is green at first. During digestion, that bile changes and gives stool its distinct brown color. That's why this color is often a sign of a normal digestive process. Now here's a very important point that's rarely explained. Just having a normal shape isn't enough. Frequency matters too. Ideally, you should have a bowel movement every day, preferably at the same time each day. If that's not the case, going every other day or every 2 days can also be normal, depending on the person. But when more days pass without a bowel movement, or when there are sudden changes in your bowel rhythm, that's a warning sign. Changes in frequency can be due to intestinal problems, hormonal imbalances like thyroid issues or menopause, stress, taking certain medications, lack of fiber or water, or even dysfunction in other organs like the liver or pancreas. In short, shape, color, and frequency are our 3 main keys to understanding whether your gut is working well or not. Now let's get into more details about changes in stool shape. Pay close attention. Healthy stool should come out with a normal thickness, not too thin or pointed. Very narrow stool can be a sign that something, like a growing tumor, is blocking the exit path of the intestine. I'll explain more about this in a bit. Now we get to the vital part of this video. Which type of stool is the most serious and dangerous? The one we really need to worry about? Let's start with color. The worst case scenario is when stool is very dark, black, looking like coal or tar. Many people don't know this is called melena, and it's a medical emergency. I've seen many patients come to the hospital with this condition, and because they didn't know it was new, they came in late. This type of stool usually indicates bleeding in the upper part of the digestive tract, like the stomach or small intestine. It can be due to a bleeding ulcer, diverticulosis, or in some cases a hidden cancer. But usually it means there's severe bleeding. So if one day you see your stool looking like this, Or if you have parents who say their stool has turned this way, don't wait. Go to the emergency room or see a doctor immediately. Also, keep in mind that if your stool is accompanied by bright red blood, sometimes it can be something simple like hemorrhoids, but it can also be a sign of a polyp in the intestine or even a growing cancer in the colon. That's why blood in the stool, whether it's bright or dark, making the stool tarry, should never be ignored. In terms of shape, one sign you should really pay attention to is thin, ribbon-like or pencil-shaped stool. This happens when there's very little space for the stool to pass, as if something is pressing on the intestine. It's not always a sign of cancer. It can be due to lack of fiber, diverticulosis, or an anal fissure that makes a person tense up to avoid pain. But it can also be a sign of an internal intestinal blockage. And in those cases, yes, it could be a tumor. So if you start seeing this type of stool repeatedly, consult a specialist as soon as possible. With all this said, besides drinking more water and eating more fiber, I want to share 5 key medical secrets for keeping your gut and therefore your whole body healthy. If you've stayed with me this far in the video, please hit the like button and comment below with which country and city you're watching from. These are simple habits you can start today, and if you stick to them, your digestion, energy, and overall health can noticeably improve in just a few days. The last 2 are the most powerful and the least known. First, move every day. If you sit or lie down for many hours a day, your gut gets lazy. Just 20 minutes of walking, simple stretching, or just being active at home helps wake up your gut and make it work better. Second, eat more natural foods and less packaged or processed products. The more natural the food, the better for your gut. Avoid canned foods, biscuits, traditional breads, artificial drinks, and especially sausages and cold cuts because they irritate the gut and are truly carcinogenic. Third, deworm every 3 years, even if you have no symptoms. Intestinal parasites are more common than you think and often have no obvious signs. They can cause fatigue, nutrient deficiencies, anemia, and digestive problems. Fourth, after age 50, get a colonoscopy at least once, even if you have no symptoms. Colon cancer is becoming more common and usually progresses silently. Colonoscopy allows polyps to be identified and removed before they become cancerous. And fifth, if I had to pick just one habit from this list to transform your health, it would be to take care of your gut microbiota every day. The microbiota is like an ecosystem of bacteria, viruses, and fungi living in your gut. When you take care of it, it acts like a silent army working in your favor. These microorganisms help with digestion, strengthen the immune system, and affect your energy, mood, weight, and even memory. To strengthen this protective army, add probiotics, fermented foods like plain, unsweetened yogurt and kefir, and prebiotics, the food for good bacteria like unripe bananas, apples, oats, onion, and seeds, to your daily diet. If you've stayed with me until the end of the video, please hit the buttons below so this video reaches more people. Watch these videos for more information. Until the next video, goodbye.